Why? Why do you think we're now unali experience ya go
Bona,
rekisa confidence?
man.
Why? Like, it's such an interesting thing to do, and you're right. I think
They bought a ticket.
right.
They bought the ticket to listen to you. Right?
So if you're nervous because you're unprepared, and the truth is you are unprepared, then
That's
what?
on you. Lapo, you better be nervous.
Welcome back to Hot Seat with Penzola. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mrs. Penzola, aka Penny Wasezola, and my mom calls me Dumazile. And thank you for tuning in. Today we are talking about navigating the gig economy space and what are the challenges, what are the advantages, and you know, I'm no expert. And my guest today is of course in the gig economy, and her name is Bulelwa. And Bulelwa, thank you so much for making time to join me.
Thank you very much, Penzola. Zola.
I've been trying to get you here for a while, but yay,
Money must be made. We must feed our passions.
Right.
We must build our businesses.
Yeah, but because
I'm here.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much.
Thanks
and I
for
think,
the invite.
yeah, and I think first of all, before we get into the business of the day and the topic, Bulelwa
bongekile nomfundo ndaba mthiyani mwelaso ngaweli ngezibuko
Danko.
zomfula.
Wow. Uyazi ngumuna mina? Muna. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, umuna, umazibuko, umwelase, wena ungaweli,
No,
wena ngehlengela
umwelase.
zemvu. Yes. Danko. So you see, this was meant to be. Yeah. Well, many years ago, I married into the Bedi family, but I mean, that's where I come from.
Yeah.
But yeah, may her soul rest in peace. We are back here, Bulelwa. Wenzani?
Mina.
Clearly, you are here to talk about the gig economy.
No, do you know, I help people with their confidence. So I sell confidence. I help people feel good and speak impactfully and say yes to speaking opportunities.
Wow. Okay, before you get all Englishy on me and teaching people confidence, explain to me what gig economy is. For somebody that's watching that wants to understand what that is, let's start there, and then let's talk about you and what you do, because that's interesting. I'd like to, you know, for the longest time I believed I was confident, and then I find myself in spaces where and I think I probably want to buy what you're selling, but let's first explain what is the definition of gig economy.
Yeah, well, essentially gig economy is what freelancers do. So you, like the name says, you work gigs and you work.
Yeah, giga.
Yeah. But you're an expert in whatever you're doing, right?
Okay.
So let's say you're a photographer.
Yeah.
And you have an option either to work for an agency, a marketing agency, and that's where you're gonna work your 9 to 5. Or you get called in to do different gigs.
Or on the weekend, you're doing weddings and food.
On the weekend, you're doing 100%. So you can also be a 9 to 5 that isn't the gig economy as a side hustle.
Yeah.
But that's essentially what it is. It's working gigs as an expert in your field. Yeah.
Okay, great. I mean, that makes sense. I think with the economy where it is now, I think a lot more people are getting into that.
Yeah.
Into that gig economy while having to keep that main income stream. But you know, we're not here to talk about that. Let's now come back to you. You said earlier you sell confidence. Hey, girl, what an amazing way of explaining what you do. Yeah. Sell confidence, tell us.
I sell confidence through public speaking.
Okay.
Public speaking is one of the highest fears that people experience.
I can believe you.
Highest fears. People are scared of public speaking more than they are scared of death. Okay? So essentially, I help people communicate effectively and also helping them be confident in how they share their story, share their opinions, share their thoughts, share the problems or the solutions to problems that they have at work. And I work with professionals and entrepreneurs. Yeah.
I'm interested in what prompted that. Like, Why? Why do you think we're now unali experience ya go
Bona,
rekisa confidence?
tseba na.
Aye, man. Why? Like, it's such an interesting thing to do. And you're right. I think, like I said earlier, I've always thought I was confident. But there's just certain spaces where I really feel like my heart is about to pop out. And I find myself not being able to, one, articulate myself properly. And when I need to make a point that is concise, and then I just go around from Pretoria only to come back to Zola, you know? So to talk to me about what was interesting for you to get into that space so you can help some of us.
Yeah.
So kuluma, man.
I think, I definitely believe that passion and vision unfolds. Right. So you don't just wake up and you've got it. Like, things just start unfolding as you walk your journey. There are so many reasons how I got into this, but I think two main ones that I experienced is, one, the first is when I was standing, I had this huge pitch that I had to do. And I had put everything together. My boss trusted me at the time. Like, my boss at the time trusted me. He loves my work. He loved the work that I did. And I had to speak back to the work. And I bombed. I struggled. It was uncomfortable. I didn't know what I was saying. And
but this is your work.
No, but this is before I got into the coaching.
No,
right?
what I'm saying is the work you are bombing, you can't speak to, is
my
your own work.
How can I not speak back to my own work? And a lot of people struggle with that,
Yeah.
right? So, and he was just like, just tell us what you did. And I was just like, I don't know. And it was a pre-pitch, so we were rehearsing to go speak, and it was, we were pitching to one of the big banks.
Wow.
Right? And it was a big deal. And this was my work that I couldn't pitch for. I couldn't communicate. So then I was like, nah, this is a problem and it needs to be fixed. That's one reason. So when people just like, I don't know how to speak, I don't know how to do this, I know what you mean, okay? And then the second reason is, when you're watching stuff on YouTube and experts are speaking and they're like, okay, you just need to be a great leader, you just need to articulate yourself, you just need to project, communication is important. And in my mind, I was like, well, tell them how they need to project, tell them what they need to do to articulate themselves. I'm an actress and I've got a performance background. I know how to help with the things that they were raising up, right? And so it's a combination of those two things. It's a combination of me having experienced what it is like to stand, knowing that I know my work and these were my ideas and I put them. And you
couldn't speak to them.
And I couldn't speak back to them. So I know the experience of that. But then I also have the tools to help in the communication. Right. So, and that's why in my business, I look at intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication.
Because that's two different
because
things.
It's two different things, but they work hand in hand. And the intrapersonal communication was the problem that I had when I couldn't speak back to my work. It was the lack of confidence, the thinking that I am not worthy to be the person standing there, even though everyone around me trusted that I was the right person
to speak to that.
To speak to that thing. I know how to speak. I know how to articulate myself.
Of course. You're sitting here exactly. You're sitting here
I'm
speaking.
a performer. I got the training how to do that.
So you studied performing.
So I studied performance 100%.
Okay.
And so the tools that I help, the practical tools that we look at is the interpersonal communication. So how you speak, like right now we're having interpersonal conversation. But the intrapersonal, which is how I'm speaking to myself, how I think, what I believe about myself, the things that I imagine, that's a lot of the time where people struggle. And yeah, that's why I have both.
You've said a mouthful, and I love every second word that you've said. And I think for me, I just want to take it a step back a bit around the amount of wisdom. You said to me, it started when you built this pitch. Everyone trusted you. You couldn't speak to it. And just that realization of not being able to speak to it and you doing something about it, it's not that easy. Like, I can only imagine where you want to say something and you can't. But the ability for you to drill into it and have that intra-conversation and understand what's the impediment and start dealing with it. How was that for you? Like, because for me that sounds like such wisdom, because it was identified quite early, which then led you to where you are.
Yeah.
What was that process in your head? Because I can only assume that there was a few conversations with yourself. It just didn't. Yeah.
100%. You know, I think it's a long-term journey, right? Every time you have a conversation with yourself and you are challenged by yourself, by the situation that you are faced with, it's a long-term process. And I've had to sit down with myself and say, I remember that night, I was like, why do you struggle to communicate what you just did? You know, I was a leader of a team. There was my leaders in front of me, and I had to sit with myself and figure out why. Why did I struggle? Why did I struggle? What am I believing about myself that why do I think that I'm not worthy to be in this position when everybody else around me thinks that I am worthy? So I had to have an honest conversation
with yourself, yeah.
and therapy.
Oh, that's where I was going with this. I love the fact that you've just mentioned therapy, because I was going to say to you, it sounds great, but there must be an element of some link of emotions and mental application, which speaks to the therapy, right, piece, because you had to speak to a professional to understand that, for you to put the pieces together. So how does an ordinary person link that? Because I can have a conversation as Penny and say, yo, I shouldn't have said that. I should have said this. Why do I struggle with this? So what is that process for Penny? Does it always have to involve a coach like yourself, which we're going to talk about just now, or does it, or a therapist to dig deeper into the feelings that make you think what you think about yourself?
You don't always necessarily have to. I mean, highly advised, especially if you are building a career. I believe having a coach, a mentor as well, is quite important, because you need someone external to challenge and to question you, right? Or to help you dig deep, because sometimes we don't allow ourselves to go there. However,
we don't
we're
want
too
to.
scared. Yeah. However, coaches and mentors, you don't have to sit like this with them. YouTube.
Yeah.
Someone listening to this conversation
can get
can get wisdom
or tips,
or understanding or ways in which we can learn how to ask ourselves the right questions, because sometimes we're not asking ourselves the right questions, right? So it is about that. I would highly advise getting a coach and a mentor that to work one-on-one with you. But if you don't have financial accessibility to that, then you can definitely go onto social media, go onto YouTube, read books, but you have to be a person that's self-aware. Self-awareness is important.
Self-awareness is important. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's why we are here for the Hot Seat family, because we want your wisdom. We want to hear how somebody that's sitting there watching, just the basic tools. And I think you've already said it. So Bulelwa, I think for me, you that's why you're here. We are here to get the insights at not a one-on-one, but you are a professional in what you do. So whatever it is that you're sharing with the Hot Seat with Penzola family will definitely have an impact. So I wanna you said earlier, I like how you said it, I sell confidence, and you speak to professionals as well as entrepreneurs, right? Let's come into that. So is there a difference in how you help the confidence of a professional and help the confidence of an entrepreneur? Is there a difference in your flow of sessions, or in the way that you prepare the work?
No, the foundation is similar, because again, it's about the intrapersonal conversation, and at the end of the day, we're all human. Whether you're an entrepreneur or professional working corporate, you're a human being, and I work with humans before I work with a title.
Right.
But obviously the approach would be different, because we require different things, and there are different circumstances that people are dealing with. An entrepreneur's process is quite different to a professional's that's working in a 9 to 5. So there are differences, but the foundation is quite different. And also the people that walk into my space are completely different. You know, so, and that's why, I mean, I genuinely love tailored stuff. So I don't like to approach situations the same way. We might all in this room, for example, struggle with anxiety, right? Or nervousness. But the reason you struggle with nervousness is going to be different to how someone else struggles with nervousness. And then that's where the differences would be. I'll make an example. You might struggle, okay, what makes you nervous? Like if you ever have to, and also, by the way, everyone gets nervous. It's not, even the expert speaker.
Even the most confident
100%.
people.
Nerves are part of the journey. But there are people that know how to manage their nerves and there are people that don't know how to manage their nerves. I teach you on how to manage your nerves and understand why you get nervous. Right?
No, I get nervous a lot, and I think it would not be great of me to take the opportunity to get free coaching while I'm talking to you and share with you what makes me nervous. And I think lots of things make me nervous, and it's things in my head. It's literally things in my head, because there's spaces where I am asked to speak and the stomach is settled. I know I will listen.
You'll knock it off the park.
I'll knock it off. It's a topic I love, especially if it's a topic I am passionate about. And then I start to see the list of some of the guests that are there. For whatever reason, and then you see these names that you look up to. You see these names, and then you see like Dr. Mang, and then you start thinking, okay, but what am I going to say that's going to make this person tick? Because this is a person I admire. This is a person that I think is smarter than me. That's another thing. You think the person is smarter than you. So then I get nerves, and then I whatever it is that I have structured, it just goes straight out the window. And then I meow, and then you lose the... So how do you help someone like that is intimidated by people that you think are smarter than you? And your keynote subject is your speciality. That's your thing. You've done it many times. You've had people follow you for that. I've had people come to events because I'm a keynote speaker. Oh my gosh, I'm here just because I saw your name as a speaker. And then, but that time I'm literally shitting in my pants. You know, obviously we will probably need a one-on-one for this, but high level, you know, in summary, what do you think, how do you help someone like me?
Know your story. Know your story. And trust why you were the person that was asked to be there. And don't get intimidated.
Yo, Bulelwa, it's easier said than done.
It is, but it's about trusting that thing, Penny. And that's why I said the intrapersonal communication is one of the most important. I never start coaching you, teaching you how to articulate, how to enunciate, how to project without doing the intrapersonal stuff.
What are some of the exercises that we can do as a beginner?
So we work on your story. We work on figuring out, okay, what is your story? When umuntu magakbona, what do they know you for? And then just running with that truth and running with that. What are you known for? Me, I'm known for public speaking, and I'm known for helping people feel safe. And that is my truth, right? And if there are people walking in the room and there are people that I look up to, I also need to understand. And it's okay to be like, shoo, I'm in a room full of people that I look up to. What are they going to think about me? You need to then decenter yourself. And that, I always say that, decenter yourself. Remember that you are asked to be there for a reason, right? And then know that you are there to serve your audience. Do you know what I mean? You're there to serve your audience. And I think a lot of people struggle with communication and public speaking because you start thinking about you.
And not about why you're there.
Yeah. Because even that expert that you're looking up to can learn from you.
So
right?
That expert is there knowing that you are the keynote speaker.
100%.
Wow.
100%. And that expert is there
to listen to you.
To listen to you. They bought a ticket.
Right?
They bought the ticket to listen to you. And again, nerves are a part of it. There's no running away from them. There are ways that you can deal with them and how to manage
that.
Right? There's a process that I go through with my clients. It's called the anew. It's anew. And number one, write this down. Okay?
Did you all hear that?
Okay?
Write this down.
Here's a guideline that I go through personally as well as
with your clients.
With my clients.
Yes, yeah.
It's I call it the anew method. ANEW. W. Firstly, let me explain how nerves come about. The nerves come about because your body thinks you're under attack, right? So then it goes into a fight or flight mode.
Correct.
Right? So
Yes.
it's like, I want to get out of here, or you just like zone out. And it happens differently for different people.
Exactly.
And
survival mode.
It's going into survival mode.
Yes.
And what you need to do, what you need to do as the speaker is that you need to tell your mind and your body that it's okay. You're not under attack.
You're not under attack.
And this process allows you to do that. This is quick. This is a quick.
It's a quick
fix.
It's a quick fix. Okay.
So A stands for accept. Accept that you are nervous. Have you ever been in an experience where you see someone jumps into water, they say, "Bayalwa," and they're fighting to get out? The more they fight,
the more they
go
drown.
down. Okay? So stop fighting the nerves.
They're there.
And accept, okay, I'm feeling nervous right now. And say it, okay, I'm feeling nervous right now.
I sometimes even say it when I start, guys, I'm so nervous.
Don't do that.
I mustn't do that.
Don't do that.
Why?
It takes away your credibility.
Really?
You can say it to yourself. It's fine. No one needs to know you're nervous. It's okay.
Okay, I've learned something today.
I don't believe in doing that.
Yeah.
There are some people that, oh, guys, I'm so nervous. They've already now, in their brain, without knowing it, they've already like reduced your credibility.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I know that people say, oh, it helps with authenticity and it helps with relationships. Nah, I don't think so. So
all right.
I don't do that. Anyway, you accept.
Yeah, next.
So you say,
accept.
I'm nervous, right? You name it. Say it, I am nervous.
Okay.
The N is to name. Now you're going to name where the nerves are.
Okay.
We all get nervous and the feelings around the nerves as well. I'm nervous. I can feel my heart is beating fast.
The stomach is...
The butterflies are flapping their wings.
Yes.
I have tingles. I know that I can get tingles in my...
No, for me, it's always the stomach.
Mine is, I can get like tingles in my palms or my collarbones.
Yes.
That's where I get tingles. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling warm here.
Okay.
Why am I? Then the E is to explore. Explore and understand why you are nervous. Remember I said earlier, you can be nervous, I can be nervous.
But the reasons are different.
100%.
Okay.
So explore and understand. I'm nervous because I feel unprepared. Okay? I'm nervous because I'm sitting in a room full of my people that I look up to. I'm nervous. Why are you nervous? I'm nervous because I think my jeans are going to tear. I'm nervous because, there are so many
I'm nervous because the makeup doesn't look right or whatever. Yeah. Things like that.
There are so many things that can make us feel nervous and anxious.
Okay.
Then the W is win the war, right? And I call it win the war because what did I say nerves are? It's your body thinks that you are under attack.
Yeah.
And how you win the war is with affirmations and reminders that, okay, if you're saying, and you see, I don't believe in affirmations like, I am confident, I am whatever, with just randomly saying platitudes.
Because then it's not true in your stomach.
100%.
Yes, yeah.
So because we've explored and understood, if you're nervous because you're unprepared, you're like, no, but I spent a week working on this presentation. I spent a week working on this. I planned it. I know the trajectory of my story. Right?
So if you're nervous because you're unprepared, and the truth is you are unprepared,
that's
then what?
on you. Lapo, you better be nervous.
Because you didn't prepare.
Because you didn't prepare. Right? Preparation is very important. So if you're nervous because you didn't prepare, that's on you.
So wenzani?
Right?
We are chesela mrao, or what do you do?
I would say, calm yourself and figure out what you do know. But I'm the type of person to say, you better prepare because people paid to be there. You need to meet them and also
deliver
them and deliver.
Okay.
They asked you to be there, so deliver.
Okay.
You can't just pitch up, I'm not that person, not me. And even if you work with me, we're not going to be those kinds of people. But unless it's like an unprepared speech, that's a different conversation, right?
So we've got that,
so it's win the war, then it's the platitudes.
Okay.
Right? And also, sometimes you get nervous way beforehand. So think about, I'm nervous, maybe I'm going to be uncomfortable. Like, I don't know, my shoes are going to be uncomfortable. Bring an extra pair of shoes. My jeans are going to
Bring an extra pair, yeah. Or change, be
or
comfortable.
Change, be
yes.
comfortable, you know, so yeah.
So it's just about breaking down the pieces and allowing yourself to have the conversation so that you can actually understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
100%.
And I think we do that a lot with our personal spaces, but not our professional spaces. I think we are quite keen in understanding, why do I feel upset with my husband? Or why am I upset with my friend? My friend betrayed me. Yes. She did this. She did. So you unpack that. And you are comfortable with it. But I think in our professional spaces, certainly with me, I find that I'm not very open to those intra conversations. And I think what you've just said now really, really crystallizes the need for that continuous conversation with thyself. Yeah. Now, let's come back to your business. How long have you been running it? What are you seeing as the trends of the behaviors of the people that come to you? And what do you think the future looks like for public speaking? It's such a, you know, at school when there's a public speaking team, ne? And then it's like a sporty type of thing. I doubt anyone takes it seriously and takes how that affects you as an adult in your workspace. So talk to me about your business, when you started and how long, and what the trends are, and what that future of this type of service that you're offering looks like.
So I officially went on to CIPC in 2019.
All right.
The 4th of March. That's when I registered the business.
Wow. See how she remembers the exact date.
And I was obviously working part-time on the business, part-time at my work, like all the different work that was coming in. But what got me to actually start the business, besides what the story that I shared earlier, is people had been coming to me like, oh, please, I've got a job interview, please help me prepare. And I would help someone prepare. I've got a radio interview, please help me prepare. You know, so I was just like, Grandshop,
I can charge for this thing.
Yeah, I can actually charge for this thing, you know. So I started then. That's when I was just like, okay, this is a great opportunity to have the business. So I've been doing it, I guess, officially since 2019. On and off, you know, like figuring out.
Taking other gigs.
Yeah. And when I made the decision, I remember it was 2022. My family and I made the decision that I'm going to go into entrepreneurship full time. And it was a journey. You know, it was nerve-wracking. Like just the idea of doing this thing, building this business from my mind, you know, from scratch. And it was exciting. It's nerve-wracking. It's hard. It's beautiful. There are beautiful experiences.
So let me ask you this, and I'm sorry to stop. Did you go through your own process at the time when you were being nervous about starting this thing? Did you go through your own identifying why you're nervous? Okay.
Like constantly. I'm constantly going through that. I'm constantly questioning, okay, I'm reaching a different level now. What does it mean? What does it require of me? Why do I feel nervous about this? All right, I'm meeting different kinds of clients now. What does that mean? What does that look like? Why am I feeling nervous? Or why am I feeling agitated? Or why am I'm very intuitive. I ask myself questions all the time. I'm trained in asking questions, by the way, as well, because I studied applied drama and theater and drama therapy, and you have to ask yourself questions. So constantly going through that, And the type of people that I meet, beautiful individuals, you know, very creative. And I remember working with an advocate before. I've just recently been working with a CEO of who runs her own business, a marketing firm. And I've worked with so many beautiful people. And to answer your question, what's that thread?
Yes.
I think the thread is, it goes back to me saying that everybody is human. Everybody is human before the title, we are human. And we all come from a different background and a different history. And those backgrounds and those history and those experiences that we felt experienced influence the way that you show up. And you have to be aware of your background and your history and your experiences and not try to run away from them because they influence how you pitch up, they influence how you communicate. They are part of your story. And that's why I speak a lot about your story.
Your story. So I have to ask you this. How does one, somebody's watching and they struggle with asking themselves questions and constantly wanting to, self-awareness is a big buzzword, right? There's many other formal trainings through behavioral science for you to understand yourself. But as a normal person watching this show, what are the practical daily things that one can do to start understanding who they are and be aware of the things about themselves that they need to perhaps work on, or, what would your advice look like?
Brain dumping. So there's this, what's her name? I forgot her name, but I wish I could remember her name. But she does this thing for artists. The book is called The Artist's Way. And I recommend it to everybody, whether you're an artist or you're not, right? But she has this exercise where you wake up every morning and you just brain dump. Don't analyze anything. Just as you wake up, just start writing what's in your mind. And then go back. She says you should tear it up. I don't. I think you should go back and read and try to see any trends. What are the things that you're thinking about?
Because there could be similarity things that you're thinking about daily. And then maybe say, okay, here's the thing here. And maybe I need to hone it.
So then you assess that, okay, why am I feeling this, or why do I keep writing about this thing? So journaling, brain dumping really helps. I'm a big believer in writing. Like just writing your thoughts out. So that you can see what.
So you can pick up your own trends and then start assessing and maybe reach out for whatever type of help that you could need. So where do people find you? I'm already signed up, by the way. But where do people find you for that formal one-on-one deep dive into a person and customized sort of solution? Where do they find you?
I do have different packages that I have.
Okay.
But for the tailored one-on-one, everything they can email me info@yaap.co.za.
On the screen?
On the screen. Our website is under maintenance right now. Okay. So, but info@yaap.co.za, you can just pop me an email. But the different packages that I do have is tailored one-on-one. So there's something called Power Your Voice, which is just for general professionals and entrepreneurs, and you want to work on whatever issues that you might have. And then I have like Power Your Story, which is mostly for entrepreneurs, working on your confidence and how to tell your entrepreneurial story. And then I recently just launched a class, so group coaching, because not everybody can afford the one-on-one, right?
Correct. As I was about to ask to say, let's talk affordability. Yes,
then I've got the group coaching. The class launches in July. So we start in July for 9 weeks.
Nice.
So it'll be like
it's a group of people, and they're all in the same class for 9 weeks.
Yeah, for 9 weeks. So I have an online class, which is. It happens online. We meet online, and then I have an in-person class, which is on Saturdays. That's when I have an in-person.
Okay.
It's the same curriculum, but I know that some people want to do in-person, which I also obviously definitely prefer. But then there are people that are not in Joburg, and we're gonna work
that really
online,
would
that
want
really want to.
Yeah. And
but,
so what's next for Bulelwa? You're running the business. You're continuing. That's great.
Yeah.
And you've got a plan. You've got classes. What's the next level?
Next level in the business?
In the business, anywhere else, diversification in life.
We're growing. We're still growing this beautiful baby of a company of mine. What's next for me? I don't want to share. There is something I'm building within the business, which is, I'm excited about it, because I am building speakers. It's going to be incredible for the speakers that I work with.
Nice.
So I'm still sitting with it, and we're developing it. and it's going to be amazing. And what's next for me is, it really is about me just sticking here and committing to this thing of mine and seeing what it looks like, figuring out its voice, figuring out how it wants to grow. Because I had to get to a point where I had to stop telling my business what, I know this sounds weird, right? But I had to stop telling my business what I wanted to be and let my business tell me what it is.
What it is.
And how I did that is through listening to the clients that I'm working with. And I had to be like, okay, you look for stuff.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That is powerful stuff. That's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And so we've spoken a lot about the advantages and the positive and everything great that you're doing. And I must say, I am inspired by what you're selling. I mean, who doesn't want to be confident, right? So, and you're selling it in such a way that it's customized, because it's human defined. It's not, it's not a plug and play.
It's not a plug and play.
It's not a plug and play, and that can be a lot in how you then respond to each of the people that you are coaching. And so I'm convinced it's a thing, but let's explore the challenges. I think in closing, I just want to speak to what are some of the challenges. At what point in your life you thought, and easy, like, yeah. So talk to me about those challenges and how you then overcome that, because it still sounds to me that we're pushing on.
Yeah.
But it can't have not been easy. It
No.
really hasn't been.
It's not. If there's ever an entrepreneur that says this is easy, banamang.
Banamanga. Yeah, I run my own business.
It's nice. No, right? It's work. You're
Yeah.
building something from scratch.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship, building, is not an easy journey. So there are times I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I'm giving up on this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. Somebody give
And
me
then we say,
some other job.
Gucci.
Come on. If you love something,
boyfriend,
think about your husband. Think about your husband.
Yeah.
Uzokudina.
Mara
Okusalayo, you're going-
angindawo.
Exactly.
Yes,
Because you're committed to
You're
your
committed
husband.
to it, yeah.
So it's not easy. Some of the stuff that I do, I definitely call on my friends.
Okay.
Like, I'm struggling right now. I can't figure this thing out. Prayer, me and Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, we cannot be separated.
Wow.
I pray constantly. I pray for the business. I'm always like, Lord, this is your business. Like, you hired me. What's your strategy?
Yeah.
What's your vision?
When is my next salary coming from? Yeah.
What is your vision? Let me know. Where are you going with this?
Wow.
What do you want for your clients?
Yeah.
I am an employed person by God, but definitely calling on my friends.
Yeah.
Like,
that support structure.
yeah, 100%. Like, yo,
Guraf.
I don't know how this is becoming too much for me, or this is feeling so overwhelming, because you're building something and you're working with people.
With all the guests that I talk to, and it doesn't matter what topic it is, the support structure piece is always a thing.
It's so important.
The support structure is so important. Like, it just means that as human beings, guys, we cannot exist without others.
Yeah.
We have to rely on each
that
other.
Says, no man is an island.
Exactly.
You cannot survive
You know,
by yourself.
you can't.
We were not made to survive by ourselves, right? We were built for community.
Exactly.
So.
And that saying you were saying, everyone just says it, but it just doesn't. It just always sounds. But the more conversations I'm having with the people like yourselves and any other topic, I'm finding that I even have a support structure to ensure that this show is a success. Without the support structure, I wouldn't be here, 5 seasons later. But anyway, I'm going to close off here, because otherwise I'm going to start getting a free coaching session from yourself. Thank you very much for making the time. And I definitely am buying into the confidence thing. I would like to do the entrepreneur piece purely because I am in the corporate space, but I'm also trying to build things.
Yeah.
So, and I believe that understanding my entire story will help me in both the corporate environment as well as the business space. So, so really appreciate you making time and sharing with the family of Hot Seat with Penzola your, intellectual property. And I am hoping that, some of you guys watching that really need the coaching will reach out to Bulelwa. The contact details, all social media platforms on the screen. And let's reach out to her. I think the moral of the story is public speaking is a thing. And I think I probably underestimate it. Even the most confident people get nerves. I think nerves are a thing. Every time I go for an interview and I say to a good friend of mine, I'm so nervous. Like, Mara, why? Because you've got this. I'm like, I don't want to hear you've got this. I am nervous. Acknowledge the fact that I'm nervous.
That's so
It does
important.
not take away the fact that I've got this, right?
That's so important.
And to a point where now when I have these things, I'm scared to say I'm nervous because somehow I'm expected to, man, you've got it, you're strong. But it is what it is, guys. Let's be each other's support structures. Thank you so much for tuning in and being with us in this conversation. Tell your friends to tell other friends, and let's subscribe, like, and comment. Please ask the questions on the comment section. I will get Bulelwa to respond to your questions. And if you want your contact details, definitely use the contact details on screen. It's been a real thing. See you in the next episode. We are going to cheers out.
Cheers. I don't drink. Cheers.
Whatever. Cheers. What does that... I'm losing the thought. Let's pause. I'm losing the keyword because as she speaks, I look at the keywords and then. Oh, okay. I now know where this was going. Let's cut.
It's a wrap. Woo! We is done.
Awesome.
It was a good one.
Yeah, do you like that?
I like that.
Yeah. Let me grab my water.